What's up, folks? Hey, today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going over the second LiveScope system on my boat. I've had a lot of questions about it. You have 2 LiveScopes? That's crazy. Well, I do, and today's agenda is to go over how that was all set up and kind of give you a kind of a walkthrough of the boat for it. But I'll tell you what, before we do that, I'm going to show you. I just got off the lake with a guide trip, Richard, and we're just going to show you some of the fish we got here. Show them some of the folks, those are 14-inch fish, all of it. Let me check it out here. Great guide trip. We just were following those schools around the lake. We actually found some structure, caught some monsters. Just a great day. So hey, stick with me. Please subscribe. This is gonna be a great episode going over the second LiveScope in the boat. Thanks, man. Good deal. That's right, folks. This is following a guide trip, and man, we put some big fish in the boat. In fact, we caught our limit, but only chose to keep about 20 of these fish. So today we're talking about the second LiveScope. Exciting times. Let me tell you, please do me a favor and subscribe if you love this content. Let's get back to the boat. All right, that was awesome. Richard's a fantastic guy. It's actually a second guide trip with 3-pound fishing, and we just crushed it out there today. We ended up chasing schools. We actually started casting up against the shoreline, but man, we put a hurt into them. I bet you we threw back 40 fish, tossed them back, said we're just going to keep the ones that we want, and he wanted some big fish, so that's what you do. And we had a fantastic day out here. I'll tell you, it doesn't get any better. If you're interested in those guide trips, 618-694-5162. But today we're going to talk about the second LiveScope on my boat. I've got 2, one in the front, one in the back, and I wanted to explain that whole thought process and how that all came about. So, all right, folks, here's the story on my LiveScope system. I'm going to try to make it quick and try to give you a quick video on why I went with a 2 LiveScope system on my boat, 2 LiveScope systems on my boat. So currently I have my current LiveScope system up on my trolling motor. I actually have it on the LiveSweep system from Cornfield Crappie Gear. It's very advanced. It's really cool technology. So I think it's going to be great for brush pile fishing, for spider rigging. I might take it off when I want to chase schools or chase an individual crappie, but I'm looking forward to using it big time this year. They're also coming out with a faster movement, so I think it's currently working at 5 amp. I'm going to go with the 10 amp, which is going to make it a lot quicker left and right. So what I have working in the back of the boat is what everybody's interested in. This is the Fishing Specialties mount. So you get a pedestal that accommodates your rail size. You'll have to tell them what that rail size height is. You then put what I call platform on with these plastic screws. Why these screws are plastic is if you ever bump this, it won't damage your deck. It'll just actually shear off these plastic screws, and that's what those look like right there. So you're supposed to use 4, but because of the demonstration, I'm just going to put 2 in here. I'm using the Fishing Specialties back here. This allows me to mount my LiveScope here. I also have a pedestal up in the front of the boat, and I'll show you that here shortly. But so again, I went with the 1042 monitor, and the reason why is it stays consistent to what I have in the front. So I have the 1042 up front. I am comfortable with the 10-inch screen. I actually had a 12-inch screen and opted to send it back. Man, it's cold out here. It's actually 32 degrees. I took off my jacket for this show, so I'm getting a little cold. So I have a 1042 back here mounted on the Cornfield Crappie Gear mount right here. And then I have the power source directly behind it. So all I have to do is throw the switch. The power for this monitor comes on. It has its own dedicated power battery, and it also has, of course, a black box, just like all LiveScopes do, and I'll show you that here shortly. Here, don't make fun of my battery compartment. I actually think it makes a lot of sense. But people looking at it for the first time might think that, oh, there's a lot of wires, but you know, that's what it is. So here's my black box. And then I have a dedicated battery for it. Now, oddly enough, even though my other LiveScope system has a dedicated battery, this particular one definitely stays charged better than the one up front. That one up front, by the end of my day, will be down to 10 volts. This guy I have ran all day, and it never runs out of juice. It's always at 12 volts. So something going between my switch for my first LiveScope system, there's something drawing power, and this guy is straight up 12 volts all day long. So here's a look at it again. I have it mounted in the corner. All right, so for those that know a lot about Fishing Specialties, they're really a great company. For an independent pole holding device off your boat, I recommend Fishing Specialties currently. I think they are, it's great, it's easy, it's light, I think it's really nice. So I stow this up in the front of the boat, so it's just hiding away basically until we need it. And we use this second LiveScope system whenever we're fishing off the back of the boat. So if the water's too deep and I can't use my power poles, which thumbs up for power poles because they're awesome, and you don't want to throw into the wind. So if I put my power poles down and the fish are in front, I don't want to throw in the front of the boat. Maybe I need to get out deeper, so I can't put the power poles down. Now I'm going to use my spot lock. As we come back here, we put this guy in and we watch this monitor back here while we're fishing. You know, you're fishing, we've got our LiveScope, we've got our transducer down here. So there it is, it's down there, and it's really nice. The other advantage is, like, say me and Marcus is out there chasing schools, he'll be out here working with this monitor right here. I'm up there in the front using that one, and he'll say 30 feet back here, or you know, if either one of us finds a big school, we're starting to target those schools of fish. Now what I did do is I added a second pedestal mount for the Fishing Specialties up here in the front of the boat. And the reason why I did that was because maybe I'm on a guide trip and I'm pointing one transducer one way, and I have people in the boat and they always want to be on this side. They want to fish off the side and they always want to see where their baits are. Well, I can have this up in the front of the boat as well on the right side, and I can be watching. Now I can do a split screen on my Garmin to show both views because I have them both connected with a wire. The other thing you need to consider too, just so you know, if you do go with a system similar to this, the battery and the black box are in here. You're going to need an extension cord, an extension for this LiveScope cable. Here. Over here with this transducer pole, I hook these guys up. Let me show you how that. That is an extension basically for the LiveScope transducer. I wire that from the black box. It's always up here on the deck, and so I can plug in to my transducer anytime I want to utilize it. It also gives me an extra like 4 or 5 feet, so I can stretch this guy all the way up to the front of the boat, and I'll show you what that looks like here now. All right, before I show you the front mount of my second LiveScope system, it's a versatile second mount system. I wanted to show you a little bit about why we're doing this. LiveScope's fantastic. Here's a little tutorial I did on what I do when I'm fishing brush piles, which is basically putting a little extra something there, a clasp, so I can see the minnow, the clasp, and the weight moving towards the brush pile. And I'm always watching that weight when I go down to our brush pile. This is just a quick little tutorial. See how it changed directions? A lot of times, folks, I'm gonna tell you, I don't feel the bite. I'm just watching that weight. And this is a great video of watching how that weight, actually the depth of the weight does not change, meaning I'm not feeling anything, but I'm watching it so I see that the weight has moved with the fish. So basically, I can come all the way up here. I have another pedestal right here, and I have the actual top and the pedestal at home. I just don't happen to have it here, but it comes off just like that one does. And again, I don't really leave the pedestal that goes across the edge there at all. I don't leave it on there. I usually just keep it like that so I can put it on there anytime I want. But this guy will be right here. Right here. Will reach all the way back there. Now the only way that it reaches all the way back there is if I have the extension. So you do have to get the extension to be able to stretch from one end to the other, unless you have your black box in a different location than I do. It's very nice. It's an awesome accommodation. I think it's going to work really well in the summertime when we're on brush piles. I think that, you know, during these guide trips, people really want to see their baits, and their ability to have their own LiveScope system, to check that out and to do it on their own, they're going to get excited. I mean, I've taught so many people about LiveScope and have probably sold so many of these units. Because when people see it for the first time, it becomes real. It's a game changer. Anyway, it's a short video. I wanted to show you guys my second LiveScope setup. It's in the back of the boat. It's awesome. We are really enjoying it. How long it'll stay in the back of the boat is the question, because we're starting to talk about maybe actually bringing it up to the front of the boat. Who knows? And having two up there, because, you know, when you're out there trying to snipe and follow these schools, sometimes both people want to be up there. So we're going to play with the configuration. Right now it's in the back, one's in the front. It's working out great. And I'll tell you, it's interesting. I'm sure Garmin will come out with something like 360. I don't want to, you know, I'm speculating that will take all that away and we'll just go with a 360 type system. But for right now, 2 LiveScopes makes sense to me. And I'm a techie, guys. You don't need all this stuff without a doubt to catch fish, but I love the tech side of it and have fallen in love with it. So if you have any questions, comment below. You know, a second power source is a big deal. The switch